Happy Friday, everybody. It's Uncle Dice here, Malume, and we're back on another yet exciting episode of Creative Lens. Today's guest is a young man whom I met outside, like everybody else I've met. Very much Cape Townian at heart, entrepreneur. He is a creative director. He is multi-talented, a model, crazy photographer. But overall, he's just genuinely a nice young man, a nice bro, as we'll say. Allow me to introduce our next guest today, very special guy, Ryan. Welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you so much, Dice. Amazing to be here. I've looked at all of your podcasts and the people that you've had on in this very short amount of time. And I think everything happens for a reason, right timing. I was like, I hope I'll make it on there one day. So, thanks so much for having me, brother.
Oh, man, thank you for coming through, man. Look, I've been a big fan of your work, King, and you're one of the few creatives I met. Plenty, but when I say few creatives I've met who has opened up his space. And when we started chatting, it was... At the time, I guess it was leading to here. I guess all the conversations always lead to here. How are you finding Cape Town, man? What you been up to? How's the city?
Yeah, Cape Town's been good. I'm actually from Joburg originally.
What?
I'm not too sure if you knew, but like you said, Cape Town at heart. Everybody thinks I'm from here and I belong here. I moved to Cape Town 4 years ago. What? And I brought the hustle from Joburg here. And loving Cape Town. I think just coming from Joburg, it's definitely an international city. As we know now, the number one city in the world. Yeah. So for me, it definitely feels as if I'm a part of what's happening in every other place worldwide. It's definitely also a different pace here, different energy, which I think for me right now is what I need. And it's really good for just my overall mental, physical, as well as work health. Loving Cape Town, love the creative energy here. I think there's a lot of people also that I look up to here, from younger creatives to older creatives. And just to tie in, I think that Cape Town has really just taken me to the next level. And the reason I say that is because I packed up my stuff in probably a week and came down with basically no money.
What?
But just the right opportunity. Also, shout out to Ingrid. She's an amazing photographer and creative director in Cape Town. Definitely worldwide recognized. And the reason I moved here is because of her, I believe. I put up a status on Facebook. Once again, no cash, nothing. And I was like, let me just take a chance and see if I can get leads to accommodation. And I said to her, I said on my Facebook feed, hey, does anybody know of cheap accommodation in Cape Town or room to spare? And then immediately she just messaged me. We met probably 5 years before that, when she was on the Tyler music video with Tyler and Mafiki Zolo, and she's like, hey, I've got a room for you. You can come. Like, don't worry about anything.
What?
And I haven't even interacted with her for more than like an hour. But in that short time we met, we just got along creatively. And I remember I was like, this has to be fake. A lot of people offer things, but they don't really stick to it.
Yeah.
And then I said to her, like, are you serious? Like, can I really take you up on that? Like, I'm ready to drive down like now. And she's like, cool, come, the room's open. Like, you can stay as long as you want. Wow. And I was like, no way, like, this is crazy. Phoned my best friend and I was like, I'm packing my stuff up. Told my mom, I just feel like I need change.
Yes.
And then in a couple of days, I drove down 15, 18 hours, rocked up at her house, and she was just like, doors open, here's keys, like, relax.
And that.
And I'm so thankful that there are people like that, because if it wasn't for her, I don't really think like making the move financially would have made sense. So yeah, big shout out to Ingrid Ellis.
Wow. Wait. Pause. Okay. Wow. Okay. I unexpected. Firstly, from Joburg. Maybe let's start from Joburg. You know what? It makes sense.
Yeah. A lot of people say I've got the Joburg energy mixed with like the Cape Town.
No, man, your hustle and Roger and I were just we're saying it. We literally were saying this. So like, yo, if anyone is busy, it's definitely right. He's busy, like, but busy in a good way. Like, yo, you're always moving, and because we are very much similar like that in terms of we like to get things done, and we see all the work that you're moving, dog, and now that you tell me from Joburg, I'm like, okay, that makes sense, man. It only has to be that. Now, I mean, you spoke about Joburg. Maybe let's go back a bit, man. Maybe let's talk about where things all started, man. Has this creative journey been something that you've always wanted to do? Maybe let's go back to school, man. Were you a guy who likes sports? How was that for you?
So I went to an all-boys school, Cares, and I think just coming from an all-boys school, like, there's hardly any creativity, but you know, sports is huge.
Yeah.
It's like rugby's big, like, you know, it's all about being the top sportsman. And I've always been physical from a young age, skateboarding, MMA, boxing, squash, still doing that now. So I've always had a place where I fitted in. But I think like creativity in general is not really art, I would say, isn't highlighted at school. Like that's like the rebel subject if you take it.
Yeah, it is.
And I gladly took that as a rebel and as an artist. But yeah, from a young age, I think from probably 11 years old, I think that's grade like 5, around there, I was always into fashion.
Wow.
I remember I wanted to be different, so I always wore like my mom's clothes, like sick jeans and oversized jerseys, and luckily back then we were the same size shoes, so I always wore like her sneakers and like Tommy's, those like, you know, thin cheap shoes, and I would put like laces on. And then leading into high school, took art, and I think I was just always a creative without fully like knowing what a creative is, but I was always interested in art and visual representation of things that are different. My dad is a creative director in advertising, so I think that growing up around him definitely had influence, because our memories were always creative and still are. And surprisingly, my dad's side of the family, everybody's a creative. Like there's nobody that is not, by passion and also by lifestyle.
So the apple didn't fall far from the tree then?
Say again?
The apple didn't fall far from the tree.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
wow. Okay. So you get into high school.
Yeah.
What happens in high school? How was that journey for you?
Yeah, I think in general, like, I was never good at school. Like, as hard as I studied, as much as I wanted to be an average student, by marks, I was always below average, but I always studied very hard.
I hear what you're saying.
And I think I was always like, why can I not just get a C mark? You know, that's like 70%. Like, how is it so difficult?
I know what you mean.
Like, I'm putting in the hours, I'm focusing, but it was always tricky to get the marks that I wanted. And now, reaching to the big 30 now, 30 in a few months' time, I've reflected and I've accepted that the school system is not made for artists and creators.
No, it's not.
Like,
no,
it's not.
No, it's
especially in South Africa.
No, it's not.
It's made for academics, doctors, lawyers, accountants, entrepreneurs, or even not even entrepreneurs.
Not even that.
That you just learn on your own or post high school. I never had a good experience at school in terms of what school's made for, and that's to learn and have get good grades. But I think it taught me to fit in, socialize, and just be around people who are confident.
Yeah.
But out of school, I went straight into university. I wanted to take a gap year, but I remember my dad advised me, and he's like, "You're a creative, like go straight into it." And I studied fashion design and fashion production. And this was at FADA University, which is the University of Johannesburg.
Okay.
The fashion and creative side.
Okay.
And then Evolve actually started in university first year, I think 19 years old.
What?
But Evolve was a fashion label.
So tell us more. Now that we're there, let's start Evolve. Fashion label. I didn't know this. Okay, tell us more. How did that go at the time?
So at the time, studying fashion, of course, I was like, okay, I'm gonna just start like doing something. The name wasn't Evolve at the time. It changed like overnight for the good.
Evolved, I guess.
Yeah, it evolved. But I went straight into fashion, and then I used to do these 2-piece outfits, and like not giving ourselves credit as creatives. Like recently I've been like, wow, back then I thought, now seeing what people are doing, I feel like
you're ahead of the curve.
Kind of ahead of the curve, saying that very humbly, because I used to always make 2-piece baggy outfits. Like that was my thing.
And that's the thing now, right?
2-piece with a button-up short sleeve box fit, and then baggy pants, and I would always do matching prints. And the reason I did that is because I wanted to wear like simple outfits that I still enjoy today, but mainly for financial reasons, like going out, I needed some cash going out, and, spending time with friends and using the money on great memories, but also bad decisions. That's what really like pushed through the hustle of starting something. And then from a fashion label, the name Evolve just carried on over Instagram. And then it evolved from a fashion label into me being a fashion stylist, then a creative director.
Wait. You're a fashion stylist. Wait. Okay. And how was that part of your journey?
It was amazing. I think after studying fashion design and fashion production, I knew that design isn't for me. It's a little bit too slow, and for myself personally, and it's not as the slow mixed with like not interacting much with people. It fell through. But I missed not having the label because it was doing well in a very like small way. And then I moved over to fashion styling. I feel like just the journey of me and the business, like it happened so quickly, and there's so many different parts to it that just kept like shifting.
Okay.
But from a fashion stylist, I stuck to that for about 4 years straight. And while I was styling, the brands I was working with, they always said like, please be the creative director too while you're styling the brand. And then I would, do treatments and put together ideas for them, and then come on the day with a team. And then I would style it, but I would also guide mainly the photography.
So how many years ago is this now? I mean, you clearly, within this 4 years, you're finding yourself, right? And you went on to say about creative direction. Were you, at the time, were you thinking, I'm going to be a creative director? Or that wasn't in the horizon? Or you were like, let me just run with this because it's coming?
So I always knew, this was 12 years ago, formally, but I started off in the industry like 14 years ago, informally.
Yes.
But when the styling started and I graduated, or even during university, I always knew I would be in fashion, like no doubt.
Wow.
I was like,
You knew that.
This is for me. And then obviously from a stylist moving to creative and then the different roles which we'll chat about next, I just went with it. But when I was a stylist and when I got the opportunity to be on set, I was like, wow, like it's actually like more than
just what you know.
Styling, than what I know. And then I started observing on set what people are doing, and it just took me to another place of, you know, slowly moving away from styling after 4 years and rather seeing like the other side. I wouldn't call it the bigger picture, but the other side of the picture, but still working with stylists who are even more talented than me. And that's kept me in the fashion industry still. So even though I'm not a stylist or a designer, every single day I work with fashion brands.
Wow. So tell me something. What are the key things, especially for upcoming stylists or anyone who's trying to get in this space? Can you just share some few elements that you quickly observed and learned throughout this journey that sort of like got you ahead? Were you always on Tumblr? Were you Instagramming? Were you in communities where there were stylists? What helped you almost differentiate yourself? Because 4 years is that's a career. I mean, that's proper. I mean, you did that properly and quite an expert at it. So what can you share? What advice can you give to anybody who's trying to look into the space?
So I think firstly, like, as a stylist, when I started, I didn't really know the business side. Like, you know, I just like always creatively put looks together. But I think my advice, what's very important is assisting and having a mentor. I didn't ever really assist, like maybe for like 6 months, but I always think back to like, I don't know, I think it's just different people have different opportunities or they move differently. And I never had the opportunity to just like stick with somebody through thick and thin and learn fully from them. And I kind of think that will hold people back, and it's you have to humbly assist people in the industry. But I think the reason I didn't is just because like I just wanted to do, like I just wanted to create. I wanted to do things now. And that may not have taught me the business side quicker. But I think also another thing I read last night, is especially directed to stylists, is the business side of it, knowing how to budget, knowing how to recon, knowing what happens when you go over budget. Because putting looks together for anybody, it's easy because it's just being a creative.
Yeah.
But then it's about knowing what happens before and after those looks. Like what do you do then? So my advice is, you know, taking a step back and moving slower instead of wanting instant gratification.
Wow.
I think that's very important as a creative.
Wow, thank you for that. And I read somewhere where they say it was the fastest way to get in there is slowly.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I only learned that maybe last year.
Wow.
You know, after 11, 12 years, last year I was like, okay, like the way is to move slow.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the way. Yeah. And so the 4 years passed, you're doing the styling, you're now a creative director. How do things progress from there for you? Are you learning any business? Have you got a mentor at this time?
So I would say my creative mentor has always been my dad. Like obviously there's a big age gap and styles change, taste changes, quality of work changes. So his mindset versus mine, it's different. We don't always agree, which is good. Yeah. Because I'm living in a current time. Yeah. What's happening now, and he's obviously tying back to what he knows. But he's been a very big mentor to me, overall creatively. Less on the business side, but more on like the quality of work that you put out there.
Yeah.
But then after the 4 years, I was doing styling like a little bit here and there, but I was mainly doing creative, and then that's when the journey of production started. And yeah, the journey of production came in where these styling brands would just be like, hey, like, can you do this whole shoot? And it was on a pretty small, very small scale, let's say, where I didn't really understand like how specific and how production is. And I'm still learning today. And then I would just do these shoots with all these brands and post the work. And then fortunately also where I learned everything is being on set as a stylist or being on set as a model or talent from a young age. I think that's the most where you learn. Like, university won't teach you anything as close to being on set every day. And like you said, Dice, you're a curious person. Every time I was on set as a talent, I wasn't actually doing my job as the talent. I was chatting to the director. I was chatting to the DOP, the gaffers. And I was like I couldn't believe like just like how many people it took to pull off
one thing,
this one image that you
I know, right?
Or a 30-second video. And that's when I fell in love with production. I was like, wow, like I want to do this. Like, I want to organize the whole picture and work with other artists.
Yes.
The industry is bigger than me.
Collaboration.
And collaboration's important. So yeah, it went from there into very, very small productions. And I just carried on with those small productions. And
can you share one with us? I mean, just a cool one that you possibly can remember where you'd be like, yo, at this one here, this is kind of like what I learned from those productions.
So there's two. There's one I did 2 weeks ago. And there's one I did 12 years ago.
Oh, wow, okay.
And those two are similar levels in terms of like just the things I went through. So the first production I did was it was my own production for Fila. Like I went to Fila, Dale Strime, he's an OG in the industry, and I said to Dale, hey, can I just take some clothes? Like, I have an idea.
Yeah.
And he was always so supportive. He's like, cool, no worries, like, do your thing. And then I organized this production that had no money, but it was still a production because I wanted to create.
Yeah.
And I said to my mom, I was like serious, like 18 years old, said to my mom, like, please, can you cook for everybody? Like, just make some food.
On
like,
set.
Make some food for set. Please, like, just put water with a lemon in there, like, help me out. Then I said to her, can I use your furniture, please? Like, I need to take your couch outside, whatever. And she was like, no worries. Like, she said, do what you have to do. I'm there to support you. And then for Fila, for myself, where Fila sponsored it, I hit up 3 models that were with agents. I hit up a photographer, which I worked with last week. And I said, guys, I've got this idea. Then we set up a lounge in like this crazy, like rundown, like place with mountains. I don't know what there's a specific name for it. It was just like a dunes. And this was in the south of Johannesburg that we did it, like super dodgy. Like you don't go there. Oh, a mine dump. Sorry, that's what it was. It was a mine dump.
Mine dump, okay.
And then we went deep into the mine dump with the furniture, models, everything. And I was like, let's just create like a campaign that we think is the best of our ability.
Yeah.
We shot. I have never in my life worked so hard. Like carrying a couch by myself, like breaking my back for the arts. And the reward of that was when we posted the image, Fila contacted us. They bought it. They bought that shoot. They paid everybody, and then they paid us for the next shoot. And they
What?
We love this. And then it went into a print magazine, my first ever print magazine. And I was like,
but it's always crazy. The thing, right? But and this is the chat. It's always that. It's always the ideas when no money is put up front, when creatives are just wanting to put out a good body of work.
Yeah, exactly that. Like, and I'm so grateful for everybody who was a part of it. And I think at that point I was like, wow, like I can be a creative director. I think the magazine was called The Lake. And back then, I think The Lake was big in Johannesburg. But it was more on like street culture.
Okay.
Then it went in The Lake magazine. And then after that, Fila booked us again for another job.
Wow.
And then surprisingly, they're still a client today. We chatted last week.
Full circle moment.
Full circle moment. And that's, I think, where it really, really all started. And tying into, like I said, the job we did 2 weeks ago, international job, my first ever international job. It was like a milestone for us, for me, after 12 years of like manifesting. How do you like get to that point?
Yeah.
And we got to that point. It was extremely tough, like on some other levels.
Wow.
But the most important thing is I went beyond my best and I learned so much from that job. And the work speaks for itself, but the obstacles are something that I will overcome on the next job.
Wow, man. And that's the chat about when you're an entrepreneur, dog. Like, the chat is, what are you learning?
Yes.
That, like you said, the chat is, no one ever tells you some things. You know, like, one thing I've also learned quite quickly, well, I knew this from agencies, but, you know, like, bigger agencies have departments that deal with certain things, so which makes things easier, is contracts.
Yeah, contracts.
Yeah.
And you know what's crazy on that topic? I'm just going to let it out there.
Yeah.
I've never had a contract in my life.
Yo.
And I don't know, I just haven't. And I'm a creator.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm missing in my business. Hey, here's a contract, they must sign it. I'm just like, here's the picture, let's go.
I know you do. No, don't worry. No, I got you on that one. Like, I'll share enough contracts. I've got enough contracts.
Yeah, please.
I have slowly had to re-engage myself in that department in terms of just learning.
Yes.
And it's when certain things happen. You know, I had a photographer on a job who wasn't giving me raw files for some reason, and I was like, yo, okay. And as a result, I felt to do a print job just based off that. But again, it goes back to the learnings.
Yes.
And it hit me up with, so this is why at agency we had that Bible of a contract.
Yes, exactly that.
You know, like, and I strongly believe it's a very gray area still for me, for my whole agency. But contracts is one thing that I will say, please.
Yeah, definitely.
Please, because it's yeah.
Yeah.
I've almost had a heart attack. Like
yeah, exactly.
But the answer I just realized was just having a very detailed and outlined contract.
Yes.
That just was the answer for that job. But that's something that I've learned recently.
Yeah,
So-
I love that.
So that's something to share. So going back into the work and going back into Evolve, you come to Cape Town. This is 4 years ago.
Yeah, 4 years ago.
How do things start for you the minute you land in the city? How does that start? Do you land and then you get yourself a place to run the studio? How does life move for you from there? You're coming to Cape Town. You said you wanted just a new scene. You come into the city. You're staying with Linda?
Ingrid.
Yes. You're staying with Ingrid. Yes. How do things progress from there for you?
So I think, let's say 4.5 years. That half year, let's say I'll give to Ingrid. But when I came here, you know, I was always still involved in fashion.
Yeah.
And that never dies. Like, I can style a job now. And I think that's just because I'm passionate about it. So when I arrive here, just before COVID, I'm sorry, just after COVID.
Or just after?
When they like things are.
Okay, yeah, it is after COVID, right? Yes.
Yeah, I can't remember the year even, but that time when it just ended, I was still in Joburg, and then I bought myself. Oh, okay. This is another big part.
Okay, perfect.
The transition. So during COVID, obviously I can't style.
Oh yeah.
Like, there's nothing to do because as a stylist, you
You
need
have to
to
touch
interact
people.
with people.
Yeah.
So I was like, my brain, like my brain was overly active and I couldn't execute.
Oh yeah, COVID.
So I was like, I need to do something. Maybe now is the time you drop your fears and you finally start becoming a photographer. Because I was always passionate about it. But the one thing that scared me about photography is the technicals, understanding that. Advice from everybody, get a camera and just shoot.
That. Yeah.
So I got a Fujifilm, also with like my last money during COVID. Bought a Fujifilm X-T3, bought a lens. As soon as they said, okay, lockdown's chilled, hit up this model from Boss Models, the agents. I was like, okay, it's still a bit of lockdown. Come to my mom's house.
Yeah.
Got a backdrop, shot. And also, sorry, just before the camera that I got, I did these FaceTime photography things. So it was trending during COVID where the photographer would phone models and then over FaceTime they like shoot on their phone. And then I was like, okay, let me just try that. And I shot like 15, 20 models around Joburg and Cape Town, some great faces in the industry. And then I would take that into Lightroom, then I would edit. And then I was like, wow, like I love this. And I created titles for it. Then it got published on Dossier magazine again. And it got published as, look at this photographer doing things during lockdown. And then I had to message them and I'm like, listen, like I'm not a photographer. Like I don't have a camera. I'm just doing these iPhone things. And the reach just like, it blew up. And it gave me so much confidence, and that's when I bought the camera.
What?
And I was like, okay, cool. Like,
do you know what's crazy? That's one is, and do you know what's actually crazy is at the end of the day, you know, you said something quite interesting when you said I'm not a photographer, but the truth is, you are. Like the eye, and
I guess
the idea, and I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, oh my word, why didn't I think of the first time photo?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you buy the camera?
Yeah. So I buy the camera. Then I say to my mom, okay, I need to just go hustle. In Cape Town, everybody thought I was crazy. They like, you have a great client base you've built here in Joburg. Like, think twice. Your career's just starting in Joburg. I was like, nah, like I'm going to Cape Town. I will start again. All my clients will follow me. Move into Ingrid's place. And then she's such a great photographer and creative director. She always just guided me. She was like, okay, this is how you deal with certain things. This is what you should do with your images. But still then, I think she saw me more as a fashion stylist.
At the time.
I was, because I haven't even been shooting for 6 months. And then she got this big job for like a jet company, like private jets for like high-end people in the country. You know, your Black Diamond.
Yeah, that
Black
kind of
Coffee,
clientele.
this business people. And her being like this insane creative. She's like, okay, we're doing this job. We're shooting in 10 days. Like, we're doing it. Like, and I was just like, I was like, my
You're
brain
panicking.
I was like, okay, you know, I can't say no. I'm like, cool, let's do it. She's like, okay, we're going to have 60 to 100 models. You need to get 60 outfits. So I'm just like,
Okay.
like, okay, cool. She's like, okay, cool. It's confirmed. We're shooting in 10 days. I'll let you know the treatment, whatever. We're running this as a production. So in 6 days, I had to source like 60 outfits.
And how's that? Where does one get 60 outfits?
I don't know. Like God and the universe.
I know, right?
Here you go. Here's 60 to 100 outfits. And we're talking expensive, like 10 grand, 20 grand per look. And like 60 of them.
Like almost like 600, almost like 1 million.
Exactly.
Just
and
in fashion.
I'm just going with it. Like superpowers are coming out. And I think even that job was a milestone for me. Like it taught me so much. And on that job also, you know, I had my production crew, people, DOPs I use, and Ingrid and I co-directed that. And that's when I was like, oh, damn, like, okay, now like I'm really moving on to the next level. And then, Ingrid always supported me on styling jobs the first 6 months and always guided me in photography. And then after that, I moved out, got my own place. And don't get me wrong, like, it was tough. Like,
no, it is tough.
Like, it was so difficult, like, navigating myself in Cape Town as a creative. And, like, you know, the competition in the industry it's intense. Like, you either make it or you don't.
Yeah, it's that.
And I think making it doesn't mean financial.
Making
it means happiness, creating art, and being able to just survive. To me, that's making it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you need to make millions, and it doesn't mean you need to be in the spotlight. It just means that you can eat, sleep, and create.
Yeah, that's
the core foundation of being a creative.
Oh, wow.
I still stand by that. And it's quite difficult because, you know, being in the industry for 12 years now, I'm like, you always wonder, when are you going to reach that point? But every day, still being a creative, you're reaching that point further and further. So, shout out to the creatives who are still actually creatives and they have the opportunity to live that lifestyle. That's a blessing.
Wow, man. So you get your new place, you move out, you get your new place. Where at the point now, are you having clients? Are you still doing the styling jobs? How is Evolve changing, literally?
So still getting the styling jobs here and there, you know, that's the bread and butter. I signed to an agency, Bird on a Wire, and they still getting me the odd jobs. But then I think photography, small productions, and styling, all three of those are combining in one to sustain me in Cape Town. And then with my agent also, you know, they would get me the big styling job every few months, which really carried me through. But then I just carried on shooting, carried on evolve, keep changing. And within, you know, the first year to second year of moving, now being here and working in production fully for, I would say, 2.5, 3 years, now it's fully evolved into the space that I want to. Okay. But I think the thing is, like, in Cape Town or even just in the industry, I'm still considered an up-and-coming production house. And that's just what it is.
Yeah.
A vision that's insanely huge, bigger than ever. I am still considered a small company here, working on medium to big jobs and having big visions. But the competition is something that I've had to just like humbly accept. Like, you know, I'm always like, why do I not have that job? Like, I am a core creative that understands fashion, that understands your brand, but another production house who's just got the funds take the job, and they do the job amazing. That's the thing. But I always like think, when am I going to get those jobs? And I think that comes in time.
Yeah.
Like, once again, like not rushing things. So just always being in competition with the big dogs in the industry is tough.
Yeah, it is.
But I think at the end of the day, there's enough work for everybody. And that's why, fortunately, like I'm still
pushing
around as a creative.
Oh man, that's exciting. And at this time, you're working from home. Or do you have the studio that you have now?
So the studio, so this time working from home in the first year, second year working from home, coffee shops, meeting clients at a coffee shop, like.
Tell me the story.
That's just the way it is.
Yes, it is.
And then I thought like, I looked on WhatsApp and I was like, how long have we had the studio? 2 years ago, on the 15th of June, we opened the studio. The studio is now Evolve Studio, Evolve's production house office, and also just a communal space for industry creatives up and coming as well as established that want to use the space on a donation policy. And I think that's really important to give back to the industry, because I know how it is not having the funds as a creative. Your growth is always slower, and that's a fact.
Tell me about it. We've been blessed to kickstart the podcast, and look, I know we spoke earlier, just to get it started.
Get it started.
Yeah, a liver. I had to lose a liver,
exactly.
Literally, to get it done. But let's just go back to Evolve. Maybe let's just get back to Evolve. Maybe in your own words right now, what is the Evolve Changing Agency?
So, firstly, the name Evolve, I think before the name was even come up with and presented to me and accepted, I feel like my journey as a human has been like crazy. Like there's been so many ups and there's been so many downs, like, on a personal level, on a business level, it hasn't been like, it's been fun, but it hasn't been easy mentally. And I think the name Evolve really just ties into how I have grown from being 16 years old or even being in high school, now leading to 30 years old. There's always been growth, even in times when I thought like, okay, like this is too hectic, I'm done. Or things are so hard, you can't move past it. Like you said, it's not that deep, even though people go through their own things, never take away from what people go through. But the slogan "keep changing" also, that just resonates with like how I've changed and how people change. We are not the same as we were an hour ago,
definitely.
a second ago,
yesterday. Correct. Yeah.
And I think as humans, we just always changing, whether it's like business, personal, spiritual, or emotional. And that's where the name Evolve, Keep Changing came up. And we are a full production house that focuses on stills as well as video for fashion brands, commercials, music videos, or anything in the art world.
Wow. And how big is the team right now?
So the core crew is, I would say, 4, and these are like the anchors of the business. Producer, Kelly, junior creative director, and just my accounts side of things. Obviously, they'd have to keep that running because I'm terrible at that.
Hey, you know this.
And I believe that, the bigger we grow, the more people we'll have. But we have our teams of 15 to 20 people that we always rotate around. But the small crew of 5 people that we have are the ones that ride through everything with me. If it wasn't for my team, the business wouldn't be here too.
And just tell me a bit more about your relationship with G-Star. I mean, just going through your page, I see all the beautiful work that you've been implementing and I mean, getting done for the brand. How did that relationship start? And how, just take us into your thought process in terms of what we see online, what you're doing, versus how you perceive it and how you guys get it done behind the scenes mainly.
Yes. Well, I think firstly, like, you know, as a creative and business owner, for every new brand that comes in, you really have to understand what they are doing locally or on a global level and try align to that, or sometimes even move away from that and suggest things that you believe in, because they might only know their side and not know your side. So I think from a behind the scenes perspective, I have two approaches. Either one, aligning with a brand or business and making it better, or two, they present something and I present the opposite. But on the side, I'll still have the idea that they want in case they turn mine down. But those are the two approaches that I always go with. Follow the brand identity or brand value, or suggest something that they haven't even really thought of. And then that's the creative side. Then the business side, which is always the trickiest side in the industry, is you send a quote, that quote 99% of the time doesn't get approved.
I know, right?
And they ask for a new quote. You send a new quote, doesn't get approved, then you're on your third quote. But I always say to clients now, what is your budget?
Yeah, I know. That's just that.
Their reply is always send me the quote. Then I say again, what's your budget? You know, let's just be honest. Let's be transparent. What are you working with? If you want a quote, I will send you our quote.
And then we take it from there.
Don't get scared. If you don't approve it, we will communicate.
Oh, man.
And I think, you know, when given a decent or good budget, it's always nice to go over and above for clients where you can provide as much as you can. But I've just had to learn now, like, to say no to certain budgets, because I've never said no in my whole career. I've always said yes, like, even if it's for free.
Yeah.
And that's because I'm a creative. But it catches up.
Yeah, it does.
Deliver the work, and then they're like, but where's A, B, C, D?
Oh, yeah, and then
R$5.
that is exactly, and that's where the issue starts.
So that's where the issue starts. So now I think just moving smarter, like you said, dice contracts, and it's fine to professionally say no to certain clients.
So, but how do you deal with the say no part? How have you? Because I still struggle with the say no part. Like you said, I'm a creative. Yeah. We're creatives at heart. I struggle with that. How do you navigate the say no part?
So I had to say it for the first time ever in my life, like 2 weeks ago. But we're still working now because we came to different terms. But I think the saying no part is more like, hey, we need specific things in order to make it the level you want it, and in order to make it to the level we want. We can do it with your budget, but your reference versus what we're going to do, it won't look similar at all. And if they are not compromising on switching the budget, then I say, we still really would love to work with you, but we don't want to disappoint you in any way. We can pass this on to a junior team that we work with, but we will still oversee them. But I won't be on the job. We will give you somebody a little bit less experienced that will take on this job. And I think that still keeps the relationship.
Yeah.
Because also you have to be careful in the industry. You say no to a 5,000 Rand job now and you're like, sorry, no, can't do it, not my budget. Then next year they got 5 mil.
That's exactly that.
I've seen it happen, and it's so hard, like, to just navigate when to say no. But I think now I've just learned to trust my gut and how busy I am.
Okay.
And then touching on G-Star, as you asked, that started many years ago, where I think they would just invite me to events, give me some product. And then it moved into the space, our last shoot last year of, hey, we want to highlight you as a creative and tell your story. And the concept was called Culture is Yours.
Okay.
And tying back to that title, they wanted to highlight me. I didn't want to highlight myself. I wanted to highlight other people. And they said to me, no, you have to be like in the spotlight. And I was like, okay, cool. Like,
Here we go.
But I'm still going to highlight the culture. And I thought of young, up-and-coming creatives who are doing amazing things. And I just wanted them to be in the shoot and tell their story from a fashion as well as a verbal perspective of who they about and what they about. And then obviously I had to do the main cover, which was about myself. But I think just having that relationship with G-Star and being able to tell stories of what's happening is really amazing, because I think their new brand approach is being a part of the community. And then, just sending product, receiving product from them and doing like the more model content influencer jobs has kept us going over the last few years. Really excited to work with them again soon.
Which is great. And your journey as a photographer, shout out to the new page. How is that going?
So, firstly, I think Instagram, like, it's quite a weird space. You know, it brings happiness to some people, it brings depression to some people. It's generated by followers, and I think back then, like, you know, I didn't push Instagram enough. All of my followers on my personal account as well as business account, everything organic. Maybe 5 sponsored posts in the last 12 years. Like, I just want to put work out there. And my difficulty is people are like, no, you must sponsor, you must do this. But me as an artist, I just want to put it there and then it lives there and like, cool,
it just lives there.
That's good enough. So I started the new account, Hing.image, and that shows all of my more like personal, in line with my style, photographic images. The followers are minimal, but in like 5 days, 188. I was like, okay, cool, like that's quite dope. But I know that it's a long journey to reaching the right people, because I have 3 accounts now. And I'm happy with that. It's more about me just having a portfolio, so when people say, can I just see your work only,
then it is.
I just send that. They don't care about the followers. I'm like, there's all the work I do. I think this is the time now to represent myself as a photographer. Yes, we are in the time now of being in a space where we can do multiple things as creatives. The new thing is you're not just a photographer. You can be a photographer, a director, a colorist, a script writer. But specifically now, I want my stills images to shine, because I believe and I dream of the campaigns that I want to work on.
And what camera are you using?
Using Fujifilm GFX 100 medium format digital.
Oh, the medium format gang.
Yeah.
And how are you defining your own style? I think we spoke earlier, off the cameras, and just I was into you and Roger just chatting about defining your style of shooting. How you going? What's your approach? Do you have an approach, or you just gonna just go with it?
Yeah, so I do have an approach. I think, firstly, what's very difficult is there's so much art on social media, Instagram specifically. Every time you scroll, you see like the best creatives you follow. So finding my style, I've had to not look at like a million styles and be like, I love that. I've had to just be like, okay, just shoot what you want. And what I love is soft lighting, simple styling but interesting, and just an image that isn't complex. I think that is my style to the core, where it looks so simple, but mentally I thought about it so much on like how to frame, how to get the right color, how to get every increment the way I would like it. But I also love the like very complex photography styles. But I think what you see on the new page, Ryan, what's my account? It's so new. Ryan.
Well, if you got the Evolve page or Ryan's page, there's a link to the profile. It'll be somewhere here in the like in the video.
Exactly. I think also just figuring your style out like is not trying to copy other people, but get inspired by what they're doing and the level they're pushing, but not copying and pasting is very important, because that also leads to disappointment.
Wow, man. You said cropping. I'm obsessed with cropping. You have no idea.
Love it.
Like I'm really obsessed with cropping, and that's the one thing when I shoot.
Yes.
And tell me some more about, let's just segue a little bit. What are some of the things that you've learned as an entrepreneur, as a creative? What are some of the things you can just share with us that you have learned to date, sitting here to date, when you reflect back? What are some of the things that you have learned, A, and B, what are some of the things that you can share, for lack of a better word, as advice to upcoming entrepreneurs, to upcoming creatives, to those who want to tap into photography? It could be from any one of those corners.
Yeah. I think only in the last year, like max, firstly, as an entrepreneur, like, you have to have a little bit of a system. Like, I say a little bit because my system's not like, it's not like FNB, you know? It's just like there, I understand it well. I won't fall into problems. Whereas in the past, I was just going with it. I was creating. I didn't worry about financials. I was paying my crew, and then whatever I go home with, it's
what
whatever.
you take home, yeah.
And it's very important to know that, like, okay, this is how you work with a budget. This is where you put money. Afterwards, reconning, knowing, okay, cool, this is how much I actually took away from the job, where before I just move on to the next. So having a bit of an online system, whether it's filing your stuff, having a little bit of accounting stuff, that's really important. And I wish I knew this 10 years ago. I feel like I would be flying. But it's all a process. That, and another important thing is professionalism. Like, I'm just going to highlight this. Like, you just have to be professional. Like, no matter if you're starting off or established, you know, just knowing, just being good to clients, being good to your crew, being a chill person, and not trying to overstep on anywhere in order for the instant gratification once again. And I think not all, but I've encountered a lot of like younger creatives, you know, fresh, 16, 17, 18, where they DM me and they just like, yo, wanna work, when can we meet?
Hey.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yo, okay. You know, I reply and I'm like, yo, like, you know, what you want to do? And I understand maybe it's the way of talking these days, where it's just the street culture, you know.
Nah, it's not that. It's like a professionalism to it. Like it's as simple as that. Because look, we don't come from the jungle, guys, and that's it. No, we come out of homes, and we come in places where, when someone's in your way, you say, excuse me, right?
Exactly.
You know, you say please. We all know how to say thank you. All know how to say please. And professionalism, it's just that thing. Yeah. I think for me, it's also, there's a lot of entitlement that is there. You know, like that. No, but you should be talking to me.
Exactly.
Versus, hey, how are you? My name is John. Yes. I've been on your page. I love your work. How you doing?
Exactly. Go into some fashion event last week. I was at some fashion event, and I'm just chilling, I'm there, eating, whatever. Then this guy comes to me, he's just like, yo, what's up, when we working? like that fast. And I'm like, hey man, I'm just like,
I haven't swallowed my food.
Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? Then he's like, I've been following you, I even sent you a message, and then you directed me to your producer, like, I'm ready when we working. And I was like, love the ambition. But like, like, my energy is different, like, I loved it because there was so much confidence. But I think if it was approached in like, hey, love your work, like, when
my
we're
name
working,
is,
I would love to work with you.
That's
I would be like, let's work tomorrow. But obviously, like, that encounter threw me off.
It will throw you off.
I didn't even know like what you meant. And then the exit was like, okay, we'll chat sometime. And then the person went off. And I was like, who is that even? Like, I wish you said your name and what you do. And then we could actually work.
Oh man!
So yeah, I think professionalism is a big thing for up and coming creatives.
Yeah, that's definitely it. And when I see you travel a lot, which are your corners? Which are your favorite travel corners?
So I've been so fortunate and blessed to travel more in the last few years. But we recently, my partner and I, got back from China. And yeah, I just think like they on like some other level.
Are they different over there?
Like they're different, like I think it's access, it's funding, it's support from the government.
Yeah, a lot of support, yeah.
Like the fashion there's next level, the art there, you can just go to a district where there's only street culture and street elements and street art. You cannot do that here. Bree Street, there's like
there's some corners there.
There's some corners, but I think being fortunate to travel so much in the last year and trying to think what we're missing here creatively in South Africa is access and funding. If you and I were given Long Street tomorrow,
it's late.
Exactly. Like everything would change. Or Kloof Street.
Yeah, everything would change. Yeah.
They said, okay, let's close down a lot of the restaurants. Let's just do fashion and art. It would be on a different level. So I think having access to spaces is maybe why we're not, currently on just the level of like
I like
China
that.
or like
I like
Europe.
that. Yeah.
And then I think another thing is like, I don't know, like maybe just coming together as people, because what I'm trying to do now at the market, we have the fashion markets at Evolve, is we're trying to, which we will next month, close down that whole street that we have access to, and it's just going to be for artists, photographers, graffiti artists, skaters, BMX, any single art that you can create. There will just be stalls full of artists there. So keep watch for next month.
Okay.
We are making it happen. Access is what's holding us back. Like we can be on some other level in South Africa, but I don't know what it is. I think it's funding and government,
it boils down to that. Really.
Years ago, what I'll never forget is Braamfontein, Joburg. It was pumping. Like, that was the place. You go there by Kitchener's, there was just like rails and like...
Something happened in the corner there.
Yeah, like kids shooting there, someone like customizing sneakers. And it was so packed, you would think that it's an event. I went to Braam a year or two ago. Doesn't exist. Like, there's none of that. And it was so sad to see, because we need that more in Cape Town. Like, we need it more. We need access.
No, we need access. And it's crazy. I always talk to Ben Neighborhood Markets.
Yes.
And
amazing thing he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. And he's such a big advocate for that, you know. And one time I did tell him, I was like, yo, when we said to meet there, it was because obviously I'm there all the time. But for me, I was telling him that all the people I've generally met, I met them at OBM. I was giving them context to say, fam, almost everyone that has come to my show has been on the podcast.
Yes.
Every other creative I know I've met from OBM.
Yes.
So it just tells you the power
Exactly.
and the value
Exactly.
of the space.
Exactly.
Just to add to your point,
Yes.
how Braffentain was.
Yes.
And
exactly that.
And I strongly believe and I strongly agree with you that we need more open spaces in the city
Exactly.
that can accommodate creatives, that can be open up to the younger guys who are, whether it's doing iPhone photography, editing on their iPhones, to the guys, whatever everyone wants to do, we just need those spaces. And OBM still is leading
They're
the pack.
still leading.
Yeah, the pack. And it's crazy because it wasn't intentional either. The space just became, it just adopted, creative just adopted the space.
Exactly.
And that's the one thing, again, saying to Ben, like, are you aware that I came here because it was a safe space?
Yes, yes.
I've been shooting there for almost 8-9 years. But the reason why I went there is because it's safe to carry a camera around.
Exactly that. Yeah, safety. And just on that note, every Sunday, Bree Street is now closed.
Ooh.
And it's a new thing. You see, once again, like, it's not like advertising.
Yeah.
The whole of Bree Street's closed. And I believe in time it will turn into what it needs to be. But, like, I just wish I had access to the people running Bree. Because it's closed down. And there's maybe like, there's like a skateboard ramp there and like one rail, and then that's it. And
so
this is the whole
active
street, whereas you can make it next level. And maybe what could be holding them back currently is just many different reasons. I can't say.
Yeah.
But like something like that, I wish I had the opportunity to be a part of the team. So if anyone knows who's running that,
please reach out to us.
I would put my heart and soul into making it on some other creative level.
Imagine what you do just for your market.
Yeah.
Now imagine your Free Street.
Exactly. The whole
Scale,
of Free Street,
right?
like from Cultish right down to the restaurants, everything's closed and it's just Bree Street. But now I think there needs to be
something.
At least 100 artists.
So is it like from Cultish all the way to like the dough?
Yeah, past the dough.
Wow.
Past.
Really?
Cultish, past the dough, like at the robot, like
at the strand there.
just before Shelf Life. 2 roads up. It's just empty. There's skaters skating, but I feel like there needs to be graffiti artists. There needs to be fashion people. They just need to be everything art related, and that could be like the new Sunday.
No, we're speaking to existence on the show.
Yeah.
We would like to be involved with the Bree Street initiative.
Please.
Ryan is up. I'm also up. You know, imagine us guys going there to even record a podcast out there.
Exactly.
Your market, extending it all. There's just so many things, like you said, we can do, you know. Wow, man. And in parting and in closing, what would you like to leave us with?
Sure. I think in the space, the mental space I'm in right now, what I'd love to leave with is be in it. Don't chase instant gratification and rather see the long-term vision. That and just one more thing.
Yeah, no, as many.
Is ride the wave as a creator. That's all. I think that's very important.
Wow, man.
Ride the wave.
Ride the wave. Thank you very much for coming through. It's been an exciting episode. Much appreciated.
Thank you
with
so
love.
Much, guys,
and this is us from Creative Lens. I'm Mulumwe Dice, aka Dice Jones, and we're out. Peace.
Thank you.
Sweet.